that is a lot to ask from a team that is so inconsistent, to Swift's point about how they sag during the season and go up and down in quality all the time.
Yeah, the quality of play. They can't keep it consistent. It's always fluttering. I don't know. They get bored because they score so many points, or I don't know what it is. It just seems like um, they take themselves out of the game.
Yep.
That's what it. They take themselves out of the game. Like they stopped doing what's working, and they like, oh, let's start jacking up all these threes. Let Towns go ahead and just shoot it from right there. It just throws wrenches in their offense when I think Townsend can be more effective if he had mid-range. Like if he can work the mid-range game like Wemby or Kawhi, that'd be hard. That's money. Like KD always get to that spot. That's money. If Towns had a game like that where he can get to a spot mid-range, that's money 24/7. Like they say, the bank is open.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the next problem. They have the firepower. It just, do they have the mental fortitude to keep doing what they know works and stick with it? So it's gonna be interesting.
I really don't know why. I don't know why Karl Anthony Towns doesn't go down low much more. Like, do you guys see him as much of a banger? Because with that,
he can be.
He is. He
can be, but he doesn't. But
I have a lot of memories. He was doing that in the playoffs last year. He was
he was being aggressive, but sometimes he just regresses. Like he go back into this his shell. Yep. Like, why you keep going back into your shell and selling? Yeah. Stop selling and put it out on the floor.
The problem is he can't turn it up on defense. So his defense will always be a negative. His offense, most of the time it is, but it can be problematic too. So
what's so crazy is that these players been playing basketball their whole lives, but defense actually energize you more once you get that skill, get that block.
Absolutely.
You a shock of like, all right, we on the run, we getting back on offense. It's like, I don't get it. Like defense, when they saying defense win championships, they want to line because it gives the team a boost to do what they need to do on the offense side of the ball. Like,
the crazy thing
every time you see LeBron get a big block, what happens? It turns into some type of crazy play on the other end. So, like,
Game 7,
put it to work and make the stops.
And you know what? The crazy thing is, it's the same in almost every sport. You just saw the Seahawks. Hey, what? Defense wins championships. Most NFL champions, I guarantee you, you're going to see an elite defensive team more than you're going to see an elite offensive team.
Yep.
You can win a Super Bowl with defense alone. Throw Trent Dilfer out there. Throw a grapefruit out there. You're gonna get the same.
Well, when you got Ray Lewis and those guys,
even our Saints team, the year we won, we had a defense that created turnovers consistently. Like we were number one in creating turnovers, and that gave Drew Brees a short field to pull points. That pick six versus Peyton Manning. That was
Tracy Porter.
The story of the Saints team the whole year. Creating
Tracy Porter, babe. I remember that one clear as day. That was a good one.
Speaking of Peyton Manning, when he won his only Super Bowl with the Colts, that was probably the best defense he had throughout his whole Colts run. So
even the Broncos would say Von Miller was the defense that carried him against
that
Seattle
team too.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So I saw KG say something very interesting on his podcast. Let me see, can I pull it up real quick? He said today's game is much faster, much more technical. It's a bit of a show, a bit of an event. It's not a sport. Randy, is he correct? It's not a sport. It's just a show. It's more entertainment than anything.
I didn't see KG's podcast, but I think that he's insinuating about how much more of a shooter's game it is. And look, I don't know if I want to see the game go to, the fisticuffs that took place in the 80s and the 70s and so on. And these players today are they're treating this like a 12-month a year, 365 days job with the off-court training and so on. Like I don't think KG's regiment was like that when he was in his prime. I could be wrong, but it is more of a shooter's league. We're seeing that as power forward centers, rely on a shot more than ever. So in that sense, perhaps. I mean, I think that KG missed his point, but I mean, we are seeing so many veteran retired players saying that, oh, if I was back in the league, then I could do A, B, and C. Like, I mean, give me a break. Like, I don't think that's so much the case, but yeah, there does seem to be an element of, uh, a missing down low presence, and maybe that's the only thing that's missing. So I guess I think we all see what Garnett is saying, but it's still a great show. I mean, it's still a sport, but yeah, maybe it's all some of its physicality.
Neil, what's your thoughts on it?
I agree with KG for the most part. I also agree with Randy. It still is definitely a sport. But when I saw KG say this, for some reason, and even now, I just thought of a particular moment in NBA history, and it was the 2005, I believe, finals, which was Detroit Pistons, Bad Boys 2.0, and then the Spurs with the big three there before Kawhi got there. And I just remember because I remember watching that series. It was 7 games, and I personally, as a big basketball purist, I would consider it, I loved that series because there were a lot of big names. Everyone had skill. Everyone had elevated ball IQ during that series. And problem was that every game was like 78, 82, 90, 86. It was a banging series. Guys were playing defense, and you'd have to take pleasure in watching like the defensive battle and cutting off shots. Now in today's NBA, the way that they've filtered this down into I think the big thing about KG's comment is it's an offensive league now. It's not a defense and offense league. It's just geared towards offense so much. So many injuries are happening, I think, because guys are just running so many more plays per game, like premature Achilles like Tatum and Dame and things like that. But, they went away from that, what I thought was more representative of basketball as a sport being physical, highly skilled on both ends, with both ends being capable of winning a game. I still think that's the case today because in the end, I think the defense, you're going to have a good defense to win in the playoffs, but the sport itself has been, I think, filtered down to a bunch of offense, more easy fouls, more scoring, more threes, and less physicality and defense. And when you take away one side of the ball so heavily, I do agree with KG's point that what they're trying to do is maximize the show, maximize the ratings, in other words, and at the expense of what slows down the ratings, which is the defense and the physicality. And so, unfortunately, those things are so important to it being a sport in the purest form. And so, of course, it is becoming more like a show, I think, but still a sport. Still a sport and still very entertaining.
I agree with what both y'all said, Neil and Randy. I want to throw one more aspect in there. Rivalries. I think rivalries is really what make it a sport. There's not enough rivalries in the NBA. When you play sports and you go against that team, you're like, yeah, I know that guy. Me and him got beef because he beat me last time, so I gotta get back at him. I feel like that's not enough. In that NBA, we see Wemby and Anthony Edwards. They have more of that dog and more like me versus everybody. I feel like you know what kind of player KG was. He went at everybody, he tripped at everybody. So I think that he's seeing that everybody is like, oh, you shoot the ball, like, oh, you score, then like I'll score. It's like it's nobody willing to get into each other's face and actually compete. I think that's what he's really saying too, that nobody's not really competing. They out there put on a show behind the back, here throw the alley, let them dunk. Curry shoot the deep three, and that's the show. It's not really
globetrotter.
It's not like head bunny. It's not like guys going after each other.
But so, I think the thing that's missing, the thing that is missing though, Swift, is that what you were talking about was Ant-Man versus Wemby, but it wasn't the T-Wolves and the Spurs. Like, I mean, is Stephon Castle going at Rudy Gobert? Like when we saw the Pistons and the Sixers go at it, like it was team versus team, the Bulls and the Knicks. it was Barkley and it was Jordan and Pippen
Jordan
and Grant.
Barkley too.
Well,
Mhm.
sure,
Yeah.
but it was the entire team itself, right?
Mhm.
And that's the problem I think that a lot of these older basketball players have, that nobody's not following the lead of the actual leader. Cause if Michael Jordan had a problem with the Pistons, guess what? The whole Bulls team
The whole
had a
Bulls
problem with the
team.
Pistons.
Yep.
It wasn't just one player like, Anthony Edwards got a problem with Luka. No, man, it puts him in the whole T-Wolves team have a problem with Luka. It's no really camaraderie with the players. It's more like individual type thing going on now, which is I see what Wemby's trying to do, and I think it's rubbing it off on the Spurs players, but it's still people just see that it's Wemby versus that guy. Still the Spurs versus the Timberwolves, or when Luka's with the Mavericks versus the Timberwolves because of how they was heated and how things went down versus those two teams. I think that's what, in my mind, that's what sports is. It's rivalries.
Yeah.
People going at each other.
To your point, Swift, man, look at you mentioned Jordan. I mean, there's not a situation you could point to today that you could match up to the anxiety and sort of stress that Jordan must have felt going into Detroit in a big series, especially losing all those years and then, getting that revenge factor up, that deep hate almost, that like that hate he's got to have, that vengeance
that
factor
drive.
that he had to have had to even be the GOAT. Anybody that's in that conversation, even to a lesser degree, much lesser degree, in my opinion, LeBron, he has that too. He has that vengeance factor against Boston that one year. He had to get past them. That you saw that look in his eye that one game. He had it, so it's there in some ways. But Jordan, I mean, you don't have that type of thing now, or what it was like back in the day where Boston had to go into LA going into Boston way back in the day. Like, it doesn't exist today because all these guys got each other on social media. They're all friends. Everyone
part of the same brand.
All these big players got one friend on every other team in the league.
Because you remember when the Lakers played the Celtics was a month ago? Back in the day, that would have been a big blockbuster promo. Lakers going to Boston, blah blah blah. They've been showing the highlights of the older games and everything. Nothing. It was just like, Lakers versus Celtics. Tune in tonight. That was it. It was like,
that's
all right.
Well, you guys answer this question for me because you three are more into football than me. But don't you guys think that those rivalries exist in football? I mean, and don't you think that there is a camaraderie sort of friendship sort of deal in the NFL as well? Like maybe it has something to do with the players changing teams all the time.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
And now we are going to get two more teams with Seattle and Vegas. And is there not enough stars to go around? Or
good point.
And if I may be frank about this, has the American players taken the foot off the gas? Because I think we are seeing that more and more.
For sure.
Like who was that Kobe dog that just wanted to win at all costs, and LeBron, well, I don't know if you could put LeBron in that category, but
I wouldn't, but
like who is that hungry next one coming out in a place like from like an American standpoint?
Exactly. Well, actually, I was gonna say, to that point, Randy's point. That's great when you mentioned Kobe, because that's the first thing I thought about. That year, he's playing on a broken ankle, and he engineers the Lakers. He wants that playoff drive. Who's going out there playing hurt now? These guys don't want to play hurt. And the other topic we can mention this question, I agree with KG's point as well. Just because, take the NFL for example. If the NFL goes to flag football, for example, because of the restrictiveness, is that more sport? Is that more entertainment? Well, what happens if you can't tackle a guy? What are you watching hockey for? If you can't body check a guy on the ice, I'm not saying, to Randy's point too, you don't have to, or I think it was Neil, whoever said fisticuff. We don't have to have fisticuffs, but you got to have some action, because if you make it too soft, or if you want to call it that way, it is purely about the entertainment. I think the sport factor becomes watered down where, and again, same thing, any sport, these guys back there, Jordan's out there scuffling with guys. He wasn't afraid to do that. Not saying again you have to. You don't have to have these bench clearing brawls like you see in baseball. They clear, one guy goes, the bench is clear. You throw a pitch. I do too, but I'm just saying you don't have to necessarily let them fight. Yeah, but you see how the teams get involved. But one guy, but when you make it when you take that soft approach, and again, Randy's point, the American players, who's going out there and who's stepping, who is that guy? I don't equate LeBron to. I mean, again, no disrespect to LeBron. I won't diss him that way. He's had a great career. He's doing a lot of good things. But is he on that level, Kobe? Is he going to play hurt? Is he going to have the fire that Jordan had to engineer those championship runs to take the team on his back? Now, granted, LeBron's in his twilight years. He's not 18 when he was coming out into the league. But when, again, you look around, I mean, yeah, you got guys. Luka there's coming up, Wemby. There's some young talent that has potential. But really, who's that guy? Who's going to be that face of the NBA, if you want to say that, for example, like who's going to be that energizing factor there? I think that's part of the point. Go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, let me get to 2 points first. Randy brought up about the NFL. I think the NFL is a little bit different with the buddies because you still got to get out there and hit somebody. Once you you gotta be crazy to play football, Randy. That's just how it is.
I hear you.
Something gotta be mentally wrong with you to play football. So once you put that helmet on, it kind of like you just see the other team uniform, you're gonna hit them. You're gonna, you ain't trying to hurt them. You just want to let them know you there. So I think NFL with the hitting is kind of like the French is gone. Like if Samcro came and just knocked me across, I came across the middle and Samcro laid me out. You thinking, nah? I'm saying I'm gonna get them back. So it's just like oh, I'm gonna catch a touchdown and say it now since he's gonna hit me like that. So I think that the NFL they in a great position because it's like a gladiator sport. You going after each other, you hit each other. But with the American player for the NBA, I think Anthony Edwards could be that guy, but he's immature.
Mm-hmm.
He don't want responsibility.
Right.
He just want to have fun.
I think he'll get there. He'll get there.
He can.
I agree.
He can change the game for sure with a lot of these young players' attitudes.
But I think I definitely agree with Neil with him saying that he'll get there. And I mean, obviously, I don't know if you guys saw the clip of him and Barack Obama shooting hoops. Like the first time I saw Anthony Edwards and Barack Obama, like Edwards was just like he was basically talking glorifying himself and so on, and it just made me cringe. But it seemed that Obama loved it. And then him and Obama got to shooting hoops, and Obama was throwing it out there. It was wonderful. But maybe, and Anthony Edwards is just he's the first one to start the trash talking. Maybe he's not saying that he is the guy because he knows he doesn't have a winning team yet.
Maybe
like he knows that he's not going to win a championship with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And if he was on, say, the OKC Thunder, maybe he would go out there and say that. I'm just kind of spitballing ideas. I don't think I'm far off in saying that, though.
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
So maybe there's something to do with that. Because, I think all the characteristics are there for Anthony Edwards to be that star, to be that leader, to be that go-to.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't have the support pieces around him.
But
Neil, do you think that Minnesota's going to win a championship?
I think they had a good chance the last 2 years. I mean, they were in the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row.
That's fair.
I agree. He's not. That's partly him not being in his prime or what he could be at his peak, but that's partly his team. I think it's a combination. But they had the potential for sure. So I think he's got a good team, and he's got a chance. But I just wanted to add on to Swift's point about rivalries in the NFL compared to the NBA. Look, basketball has always been my favorite sport throughout my time here. But right now and for the last few years, the NFL has far and away been my favorite league. And football is just, it's the ultimate, because you talk about these rivalries. What makes a diehard sports fan, into something, or even a casual, you got half the team, every team, Randy, half the team's job is basically to Hulk smash some other guy on the other team. And the other half of the team, their job is finesse. So you got brute force and you got finesse. And the fact that every receiver, every running back, every quarterback relies so deeply on their offensive line and how defenses work as a unit that everyone has to cover for another man's weakness or ineffectiveness in an offensive scheme, the reliability, the interdepartmental reliability, you could say, is off the charts higher than compared to the NBA, how important coaching is, how nuanced coaching is. So, the NBA can be, I think it's been manipulated away from some of the good things about it in past decades. Whereas the NFL, even though the NFL has become a nicer league, guys are friendly to each other a little bit more than in the past, it's still a league full of just dogs and guys who have to get up ready and with that look in their eye to have success. And so you're always going to have better rivalries, more consistent beefs with the other teams.
Yeah.
And just kind of a more product that has that, what I was talking about with Jordan, that edge that you got to have that maybe is missing in the NBA today.
And what do the NFL stand for? Not for long. So don't guys, if you're not a superstar, if you're not a superstar, you bringing it every Sunday. Cause I gotta feed my family. Cause if not, my backup gonna take my job. Cause if I don't play good enough, somebody else right there in the wing gonna take it. NBA, you kind of like you probably good. If you're in the starting five and you playing decent, you don't got too much to worry about unless you just got like two other guys on the bench are just great players or good players. So,
especially nowadays where like a role player gets the same contract as a superstar in the NFL or in some other league. These guys get the money, and a lot of them maybe take a step back in terms of their desire or ambition to be great.
But Neil, how many times do teams play each other within a division? Is it 6 times? Like, do the Raptors play
the NBA?
Oh, NBA?
5 times, I think. 4 or
5 times. Okay. Because what I was wondering, because in NFL, each team plays within their division twice. In 17, going to be 18 game season, I suppose. So maybe that there is a lack of interdivision rivalry. Like, when you're playing 5 times, that's a fair deal. Maybe it does have to be 6 or more. Play the other conference once in the Western Conference arena, and then the East, so 2 times total, 3 times, 4 times in the other divisions. But I was wondering if there was kind of something there, because in a city like Toronto with the Raptors and the Blue Jays, we don't have that back and forth rivalry. Like, we're kind of on the outside looking in, where you have the Yankees and the Red Sox, you have Michigan and Ohio State, you have I don't know, the Army versus Navy. I don't know, but
that's a good one.
The Raptors and the Blue Jays, we don't have that. The Maple Leafs, you could say the Montreal Canadiens. You ask a Montreal Canadiens fan, their biggest rival is the Boston Bruins. So I think that we're missing that dance partner, Neil.
That's fair.
Like, who's our rivalry is Canada versus everybody.
Yeah,
well, that's true.
That's true.
That's true.
Canadian sports, we flop a lot in the finals of every sport that we make, whether it be hockey or basketball. Except basketball kind of gave us that we were fighting against ourselves, basically.
That taste.
We were at a rivalry with ourselves,
or the U.S. there. Yeah.
Randy, you're talking about number of games. Personally, I don't think playing more games into division will increase rivalries. The NFL is not only, like you're talking about what KG said. Look, I kind of broke down why the NFL is a better sport, team sport, more magnetic, exciting, I think, for myself, even though I still love basketball as a sport the most, just personally. Sure. But the NFL is also the best event. So you're talking about whether the NBA is an event or a sport. The NFL is the best in both, because you play so few games. The rivalry is 1 game at home, 1 game away. It's like
make it count.
Yeah, everything counts. Everything counts. Everything's big, magnified. So, they just do everything right in a sense, as far as the sport. And the NBA is kind of going in a way that maybe isn't the best.
No, you're right.
All right,
let's
move on. All right, the WNBA new CBA has been reached a deal, I think 2 weeks ago, I want to say. The new salary cap is at $7 million. The average revenue share is 20% across the deal. Supermax is starting at 1.4 million. The average salary in range 600K. Minimum above is 300K. So they made I think what they saying, the minimum above was last year was 300K. Now it's 600K.
Yeah, they double. Yep.
Randy, how you liking the new CBA deal?
It seems that the WNBA is on the rise. Now, I don't know when they started making a profit because, for the first, close to 30 years, they've always been in the red. Now, you could say a number of reasons has garnered a lot more interest in the WNBA. I'm personally looking forward to when the tempo tip off next season. And no, I think the WNBA is in a great position now. For anybody who thinks that WNBA players should be making 10, 15, 20 million dollars a season, I mean, let's pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah.
But why shouldn't a WNBA team have chartered flights? Why shouldn't they? Now, obviously, if the league cannot afford it, that's a different story. But they seem to be in the right direction, and it's obviously fantastic news. And it's a league that is certainly growing, and probably going to see more and more teams throughout the next 5+ years. So good on the WNBA.
Samcro, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think we talked about this a while back there. This is part of the discussion, unless it's still in the works, but like, you're not going to reach NBA level, obviously. I mean, and again, like to Randy's point too, where did they get all this money? Because they were in such a hardship when it all started way back when. I know they're trying to keep up that similar style like the NBA is doing. And again, I fully agree with Randy of, the salary wise, should it be as equal there too? I think that's pushing it a little bit, but in all fairness there too, I think that, that financially should be elevated a little bit. Again, unless too, like the league is hurting and stuff, but I think it's only fair for the players too. I mean, again, I know and they always argue this, the apples, oranges, males, female, and all this stuff, but the players put in the time, they put in the work, they're playing the games. I mean, and I know there's that competitive, we want to be paid fairly equally and everything too. So, I don't see why there can't be some kind of adjustment where, and we said too, like some of these sports, if you get hurt, you're taking shots, you're taking these, you're putting yourself out there, you're grinding, you're doing everything like anybody does for their job. You want to be compensated fairly because, something happens or, you want securities there, all that stuff. I think it's only fair that they get paid that way. So I give kudos to the WNBA. Again, they're definitely on the rise. I think they're trying to be that focal point in entertainment, which I think they're starting to do because the people are watching it, obviously. Obviously, it was big when Caitlin Clark came in the league. She obviously helped to change that. It drew a lot of attention there with the Fever. So I think it's a good model for that. And who knows what avenues that'll open up in the future if it continues to grow. But I think it was warranted, and I believe that it was a great move on the league's part.
Yeah, now the WNBA need to get better at promoting, so they can generate a lot more. Don't be scheduling Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark at 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. While I'm at my son's baseball game, think I'm gonna have enough time to get home to watch it. Yeah, so better scheduling. What you think, Neil?
I'm always in favor of people coming up and women as a whole. I mean, look, I really didn't watch too much women's basketball until the last couple of years, but they're immensely skilled. Like they play a little different. It's obviously they play the game a little different. It's a little more finesse, but they show a lot of skill and teamwork that a lot of men's teams don't match up to. Now, obviously, you could make differences on whatever, but it's not really comparable, in my opinion. Women do some things extremely well, and it's fun to see. You're not going to see the dunks, but you are going to see the nice passing, the teamwork, skillful play, and they're getting better. So the more they're going to get paid, the WNBA is just going through the same growing phase and growing curve as like the NBA did back in the day. Players continuously, as the league gets more and more following, money, ratings, deals, guys and ladies will get paid more, and so the WNBA will continue to rise. I hope they do. And look, Toronto's about to get a WNBA team. I got a daughter; she's young, and when she gets older, I want that to be a team that she could go see role models, be playing basketball if I had my way, and just take the games and shit, be able to afford dinner after too. You know what I mean? So it's all good with me, man. I hope that they do well. And not only that, they'll attract a lot of these foreign players, European players that are getting paid more in Europe.
There you go.
To come play here and allow us to go enjoy their games more.
I think Neil's got his retirement plan there. That's a good idea. So if you get your daughter to play, you'll be all set. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like they needed to be paid more. It was no way that Asia Wilson shouldn't be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark and the girl from Connecticut Sun, the woman from Connecticut. I was like,
Connecticut Sun. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's just like some of these they need to be paid that much. They show the talent on the floor. They were always competitive. You know, they weren't taking plays off like some of the NBA players, games off. You know, they was up in there grinding, Paige Buckers and all them women. So I think that they did them right by increasing the pay, especially that's their main job, traveling to games. They need to be accommodated. They can't have a second job, maybe in the off season, but when you're a professional player that's linked to the NBA, they need to get paid as like that's their job. Take care of life and everything like that.
It took them a long time. It took the NBA a long time until Bird and Magic came in. And the NBA was in real trouble apparently until Magic and Bird came in. And I got to tell you, for somebody who's not into college basketball at all, I took to notice Caitlin Clark at Iowa and Angel Reese at LSU and Paige Beckers at Connecticut. And the in terms of NCAA basketball, especially in the last couple of years, I noticed the women's game a heck of a lot more than the men's game. So it's definitely a step in the right direction. And maybe it's because these women are playing 4 years. I think they all played the 4 years. I don't think they have the exemption in WNBA, right?
Yeah.
So is that one way for now? I don't know if it's going to get to the point where women's basketball is going to have one and dones, but when you have 11, 10 teams and so many teams moving and folding like they did in the 90s and 20 years ago, what do you expect? It's just been such a recent thing where women's basketball players are generating that kind of revenue. So, it was a long time coming, and shout out to the Cheryl Swoops and the Lisa Leslies of the world. But
Lisa Leslie,
Yep.
They weren't able to do it.
Pioneers.
Yep.
Yeah, but now is it because the corporate America didn't see a profit, didn't see a possibility in linking up with WNBA?
Could be.
I don't know.
But corporate America is definitely seeing it now.
Sure.
I think the game is just getting better.
I think social media having more eyes on the game is what
that helps too.
WNBA, because the only time you could watch WNBA games, you catch it on TNT or something, like hours before NBA game, or it was the broadcasting wasn't that great back then for those.
There's
games,
for sure a lot of people that learned about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese through social media, and not through actually watching them on TV.
Yeah,
so
I like
seeing what Caitlin Clark doing her magic. Like looking like Steph Curry, the female Steph Curry. So at times, a lot of people caught eyes on reels or this and that, and then they start paying attention, and that's a very powerful thing. And that's definitely.
I think social media was the key into the rise, and cause you kind of have you get to see the insight of the player lives too. Caitlin Clark come off the court. You didn't really see much of that, unless you watching old tapes of NBA players or they're holding specials about the player. So we get like real-time insights of the player leaving off the court, real-time, interviews, and we get to see Caitlin Clark off the court, seeing her as a person. So it like all that combined just boost up their ratings. I would say that.
And
sure.
I certainly think that there was a maturity process, especially from a man's perspective as well.
Oh, yeah.
Where
for sure.
That, yeah. Now, obviously, 60, 70 years ago, maybe even 40 years ago, 30 years ago, a woman's place was not in sports. And when you're seeing, when you're seeing an athlete, taking glamour photos and modeling opportunities and so on. Well, I mean, male athletes, how many times do we see Russell Westbrook with a wide open shirt?
Why did I know you were going to say that?
Yeah.
That's Randy Brain.
Before he said Russell Westbrook, I'm like, Randy got to say Russell Westbrook.
I'm going to say, yeah. Like, I mean,
that's awesome.
But there, and I mean, there's still something about say tennis players and the comments of their looks and so on, the kind of social media hate and so on. But Tom Brady got that too.
Yeah.
So David Beckham gets it. So now women are joining the party, and it is great to see.
Recognition, long overdue.
Shout out from Billy.
Oh, yes.
Say, hey, y'all, love the Toronto team support.
Hi, Bill.
I like Bill. I like Bill.
Hey, Bill, go ahead and subscribe to our boys in VOF in Canada. Go ahead and subscribe to them.
He is in Canada, actually. Bill is in Canada.
He got the Expos.
Yeah.
Who is that? Born ready, baby.
Vladdy Jr.
Who is that?
Vladdy Jr.
It's Vladdy
Jr. I was gonna say, actually, Bill is in Canada. He's in East Toronto, actually. So he's in you guys' neck of the woods. So he's a hometown favorite.
This Vladimir Guerrero Jr., his dad played for the Expos, and this is an actual picture of him as a young child at the Expo Stadium with his cap.
I watched him for years. Yeah, I watched Vlad Senior for years. Yep.
And Vladdy Jr. was born in Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, there's going to be a bobblehead night with Vladdy. The pose of the bobblehead is of Neil's shirt in the Expos jersey. And I actually picked up a ticket because I want to line up and try and get that bobblehead.
Just for the bobblehead.
Just for the bobblehead.
I would do the same thing for that bobblehead. That's nice. That's really cool, man. He said the Jays stunk tonight.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into a little bit of baseball. I want to ask y'all about your Blue Jays. How y'all feel about this season? Since we just started with the opening day. He said he went to a Jays game in early '80s at the X. That was an experience.
Yeah. You know what? The Jays, my first game, went to a number of games at Exhibition Stadium. It was a full circle moment. My father took me to my first Jays game for my 7th birthday. And then they tore down the old stadium. They put up the soccer stadium. And then on my birthday, my 36th birthday, went to a Toronto FC game. My dad was there, so it was like a full circle moment. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. But there's a lot of Jays fever around here, and obviously, with the Maple Leafs, just going into the complete garbage bin, and we'll see what happens with the Raptors. But I think that there is a difficulty the moment Toronto fans could sense that the Jays might have something cooking. Last year was a complete fluke because nobody was expecting the Jays to make the World Series, let alone the playoffs.
Nope.
But when you have teams like the Yankees and the Red Sox in your division, it's hard to cheer because especially with the resources that those two teams have. I mean, they're the two of the most powerful franchises in North America, and they're in the Blue Jays division. But there's so much promise with this team. It's a team that is just so likable. And you know, that run last year was just incredible. So I'm actually going to the game as well on Wednesday. And
Nice.
I'm going with my parents on the 12th. They're playing Minnesota. So
There you go.
it's Jays fever. And,
let me say this. As a Red Sox fan, however, last year I have a Vlad Jr. jersey. I was rooting for him in the World Series, so I defected for that series. So I'm not a complete hater. I'm not I do support the up and comers. Let's just put that there, okay?
Well, it was either us or the Dodgers, right?
I will not support the Dodgers. Yeah, so
we lost that series, but. Even though we lost that series, and like, don't get me wrong, it's horrible to lose that way, but
it stings. Yeah,
you come away from it, and you feel as a fan base, like Randy said, it was so unexpected, so empowering. We all feel like empowered that we got a squad that can win a championship, and we all know this. So we know the expectation is there. The expectation is not, let's see if we can make the playoffs. The expectation is we know we can win. And so you look throughout history. Look at Kobe in 2008, losing to Boston. He knew that he had a team, came back, won the next 2 years. LeBron, first one against Cleveland. They took GS to 6 games without Love and Kyrie. Next year he has Love and Kyrie. He knows this is his year to do it in Cleveland. There's lots of history that where a team will lose one, and then they'll come back, and that's when their run really starts. Maybe baseball's harder to be great multiple years in a row, unlike basketball. Even football is pretty tough by comparison. But the Jays are not the Dodgers, but 100%, we got a good shot of making it back to the dance.
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, was it 93? Was it 1993 with our last series? And I was
93 was the last time we.
Yeah, I was like 4 years old. Yeah. I don't remember that. I was like 4 years old, but I mean, you got to be energized when you see this, and that's why like I said, as a Red Sox fan, I was pulling for the Jays, not just because I don't want to see the Dodgers, but to see the energy and the fans were excited about. This is the first time in 30 some odd years that you actually have this shot. And to be honest, I know it stings. I'm not saying it to make it hurt more, but like I think they could have won that series. To be quite honest, I think they had every opportunity. And then of course you lose at home. You lose up in Toronto, which is even worse in front of the whole crowd. But potential. The future is bright. So I think they'll be back, and I think they got a long road ahead.
Yeah, y'all should hold your heads up high. Y'all play against the Avengers.
Yeah,
I mean that's tough. That's
and
tough.
Just with so many things that were that took place in Game 6 and Game 7 with Barger's shot on the Barger's.
Gotta go talk about it.
The hit, the ground rule double that got stuck on the
ball. Rip the scab off.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna rehash the past. But what I will say is that I was 14.
I'll be right back, y'all.
Yeah, I was 13 in 92 when they won. I was 14 in 93 when they won. My father was at Game 6 when Joe Carter hit the home run in 93.
Nice, yeah.
And it as a 14-year-old kid, it was incredible. But as a 14-year-old, I didn't appreciate it as much as I did when the Raptors won in 2019, let alone when Toronto FC won in 2017.
Yeah.
And man, I would have been in the hospital with alcohol poisoning if Toronto won, because it was Halloween night, Game 7.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
and I was decked out as a Toronto Blue Jay, so I could have had mad women come. Hey, I'm not going to. But
is that what it is? Maybe I should be a Blue Jay this year.
We know why you hate the Dodgers for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I don't know if Bill is from the Toronto area.
He's from East Toronto. Yeah, he said East Toronto. Yep.
Oh,
Eastern
okay,
Toronto.
right on. So yeah, sorry.
Let's go and talk about some Bills real quick. We were gonna talk about the Jets, but who cares?
We don't even talk about that. They're just Jets, so just skip that. Yeah, forget that.
This is Jets. I'll just say this: the Jets are doing stupid things as usual.
They are. They don't learn from the past, so that's their repeat. It's over.
I had to get this question in because Neil's on here. He's a Bills
fan.
Boy.
So
everybody was going crazy about DJ Moore. He's a good player. He's a good receiver. He's not a true number one like he used to be in Carolina. So my question is, do they have enough to make the Super Bowl run?
Oh, for sure, man. It's kind of like, a lot of these teams, you could say like the Bills almost are like the Clippers back in the Chris Paul days. Every year you think that they're a contender. They make it various degrees in the playoffs, but they're good for so many years in a row. It never really stopping. So we always got a shot. That's the problem. And I truly believe that we would have a Super Bowl if it weren't for Patrick Mahomes, and he's our boogeyman. And two ways about it. I accept it. I respect game basically, and P. Mahomes is better quarterback than Josh Allen throughout their careers, no question. But Josh Allen, I think, can have a longer peak, let's say, than perhaps Mahomes. And maybe some signs are already showing, or maybe Mahomes is just having a little lull in what will otherwise be like a resurgence later. It's possible. But Allen is fantastic. He came in very raw, much rawer than Mahomes ever was early on in their careers. Right. And he has become elite in the finesse, nuanced areas of passing while still maintaining his physicality, size. The Bills, man, they have a good team. They were lacking in run defense last year, but that was the only major hole, I would say, in their team. Coaching was average. McDermott, I always liked him, respected him, but it became average and predictable a little bit. And so one thing I'd say is that DJ Moore, he's not the only addition. We seem to be taking on possibly washed up guys that have had big names in the past or even currently, but at the tail end of their prime or past their prime, and we're giving them big money. So something we'll see. CJ Gardner-Johnson, Chubb, Moore. It's every year it's like this. It seems replace Joey Bosa with replace Von Miller with guys who have But I do think that we have as good a shot as anybody else. And we still got, in my opinion, the best QB in the game in any given game. He had a bad game against Denver, the best defense in the league in Denver. So, a lot of things stacked against there. A lot of great quarterbacks would have multiple turnovers in games like that. Maybe if things were different, things could have been different. But I still think he gives us an amazing shot every single year. Team.
Not one quarterback I can think of, but
I'll
wait for my turn.
Well, I'll look at this. Like I mentioned Peyton Manning before. He had how many years on the Colts? He won one title. How many Swift's Saints? Drew Brees, so many years, and he has one title, which they had to have one of the most epic plays in the history of football to win.
Well, and Neil's gonna like me. What do you think my team is, Neil?
Buffalo.
Oh,
okay. It's Kansas City, yeah, aren't you?
Six titles in Foxborough, man.
Oh,
Gillette Stadium, 6 titles.
That's true.
Yeah, one guy. Yeah, he is a Patriots fan. Oh man, I didn't plan this, Neil. I didn't bring the Patriot fans on.
But I tell you this, I'm gonna tell you this much right now: is that when the Bills win a championship, because I've been a fan for 25 dang years or longer, that first one is gonna feel so much. Greater than any of those Patriot championships. You know what I mean? It's
if they win, Neil, I'll take you myself. If they get there, I will take you myself.
Look, I tell you this. When Dirk Nowitzki won that championship with the Mavericks, my personal pick for greatest individual run of all time for a single player was Dirk that year.
I'll give it to you. Yeah,
he was unstoppable.
But that championship meant probably the happiness it gave to that city is probably like 3 championships won by Boston or some other team that's kind of buys them up, like the Lakers, for example. So the Bills will have one of those type of championships.
Yeah, the championship for Cleveland.
They're gonna take the whole year off. They're like, nobody got work again.
Lockout.
When I when the Saints won Super Bowl, I remember Flowers was there. He's a Colts fan, and I remember the last play we won. I was just like, I just started crying. Like it was just like. Man, like you've been down for so long. You feel the anguish, you feel the disappointment year in, year out. And when you finally win, like you're not even celebrate. I wasn't even celebrate. I was just like crying and flowers, like you deserve it, bro. You deserve it. I was like,
Two things I just want to say. 2 things I want to say on the Bills though is that DJ Moore, I don't think he's washed up. I just think that he wasn't utilized well in the last year in Chicago. They wanted to prioritize young guys.
He hated Caleb.
He was still serviceable and he had some huge plays. He's gonna love playing with Josh Allen, man, and this team. Like when he was on Carolina, he was an amazing player. He had a good years in Chicago. He's still only like 28, And the other thing, probably the more important thing, is will Joe Brady be head coach material? Because, things could go sideways, but I think there's potential for him having like what Ben Johnson had with Chicago last year, elevating a team that had a lot of deficiencies, a lot of holes, and just his magnetic energy. It went through that team, and they did big things. And so I hope that Brady got some of that Ben Johnson in him, and that would go a long way to us fulfilling our destiny.
Yeah, I say that with DJ Moore because I feel like y'all still need that big target receiver. I know y'all still trying to get AJ Brown, even though y'all had DJ Moore, but I think the Eagles, I don't know what kind of game they playing. First, they're like, all right, yeah, we train for this much. Then when somebody give them that what they want, they're like, nah, we ain't taking that.
Bills need like a T. Higgins type.
Yeah, they need a guy to win. I know DJ Moore can win the jump ball, but y'all need that big. But we thought Keenan Coleman was going to be that guy, but he just didn't pan out. Well,
he's the type of kid though. He's the type of kid though where I think his immaturity holds him back a lot. Physically, I think he has the tools. So it's just a matter of will he lock in, like for example, like George Pickens did with Dallas. That was a knucklehead for a few years. But as soon as he goes to Dallas, and even in his last year in Pittsburgh, he had moments. But he just was full-on superstar last year, and he seemed, less diva than usual, more about business than usual. And he had a fantastic year and was a top fantasy player in all aspects. So, I think Keon Coleman in the future, maybe not next year, might have that type of serious next level that suddenly happens out of the blue.
I kind of like Shakir a little bit more. I think he could be a guy there too. But that's
he's great, but they're both small, like him and Moore. They don't have a big.
Yeah, they're the Cole Beasleys there. They're the slot guys. They're not the big body receivers. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our last topic. MLB. They implemented the ABS system. A lot of fans. I want to say it's about split. I've been reading comments and people talking about. I think they split. I think people, when they think about baseball, let's just think of the human error aspect. Making it, more human than what they try and do to it. So I think that's what the fans are really grappling about, some of them. But do y'all like the ABS system? I know they showed an umpire, I think yesterday.
CB Buckner.
Four his calls. It's four of his calls got overturned or something. It was something crazy. And they're like, see, this is why we need it. What start you, Randy? Do you like the ABS system?
Absolutely. There was a World Baseball Classic game where USA versus Dominican Republic. It was an incredible game. The game ended on a questionable strike call, and if ABS was there, that game would have continued, and it would end it the proper way. And sure, there was a lot of tradition with umpires and making the call. You got the one chance to get the right call, and we can't have games, especially championship games, playoff games, just games in general, be decided by an incorrect call. So 100%. And just how they rolled it out, where a batter has 3 seconds to decide whether to challenge it.
Right.
And I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on the challenge system in football, but in tennis as well. Like, you have to have a way where the players decide the outcome of the game. So
absolutely.
I think it's a fantastic baseball has really overhauled the game a lot.
Yeah, for
with
sure.
The pitch count, with the shift, the intentional walk,
the marketing.
Now this ABS system, marketing. Yeah. I mean,
all
this is a game that was steeped with so much tradition.
Like, I would say it's the sport on the biggest come up out of the 4 major American sports. It's had the biggest trend, rise relative to where they were before. NFL's always up here, they're not moving much, but they're always up here. Basketball's kind of baseball's like
they're trying to catch up.
Hockey's also gaining popularity in the States and is on a pretty good upswing in the States, I would say, as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. And you have to think with I think the NBA does have a real problem. And with baseball, like Neil said, the popularity that it's got. I think the World Baseball Classic has a lot to do with it.
Right.
And in 2030, I believe, or 2032, they're going to have baseball in the Olympics. They're not going to have it in LA, which is fantastic because those Olympics are not going to be during the baseball season, I believe. So, it would just be more and more reason for international baseball to take the spotlight, and it's just going to do so much better for the game.
Yeah, first I had mixed feelings about the ABS because I'm all about human error. I think that will make sports entertaining. Like the missed call, like, man, did you see that? But I get it. You got to end on a good note. You can't, like the Saints no call. That burns me to
I was gonna say
day.
go there. Yep.
That burns. Like, how can we not tell us that? Like,
Stevie Wonder could have saw that. Yeah, I mean, come on.
As a Saints fan, I get it. I want to see the correct call happens because it affects a lot of people, like emotionally. Like, I ain't want to go to work the next day at the Saints no call. I ain't want to talk to them. So baseball, they getting it right because they only get 2 challenges, right? If they win, they keep their challenge.
2 incorrect challenges. Yeah. So if they get it right, then they keep they keep the 2 challenges.
Yeah. So it's not overbearing. It's pretty quick and like it don't take that much time. So I caught a lot of people say it slows down the game, No, it don't take that long because they're using the tracking system. So it keeps it, already in the system when it see the ball's pitch. So I don't see no problem with it. Just make sure the people call the right calls, and they're like, well, they're gonna make. Well, they're about to say they're gonna say they gonna get rid of umpires at some point. So I don't know they're gonna get rid of them. I think they'll just let them work with the system better.
Yeah, and I mean the fans get into it when there is an ABS challenge. It's that instant. It's like tennis where they see the result and the fans are cheering, and it's a really great element to the game. So because the excitement level is increased with ABS, it's a win-win.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What do you think, Neil?
No, I'm a fan because I'm always a fan of getting things right. Whether you got to take out human error out of that. Look, human error happens in the game itself by the athletes. That's what the human error you want to see. Human success, human error, and the battle of the wits between these two teams. But you don't want that human error coming from the guy deciding the game and the outcome of certain plays. So I'll always, for every sport, I'm a fan of, getting things right, but using them sparingly. That's why I do like the challenge system. It takes, know-how how to do it in all these sports. Now NBA, NFL got challenges, but in baseball in particular, the degree of, I think, subjectivity on a lot of times the umpire's part, sometimes it's like mind-boggling what they actually see compared to what happened. So definitely I'm in big favor of it still.
So I do have a quick question. With the system, do the team only get 2 challenges or the batter only get 2 challenges?
The team.
The team. It should be the team.
See, that's tough. I seen a batter yesterday. It was I think it was the Cubs game. I can't remember it, but the ball was a little bit on the outside. He challenged it, and he got it right. Then the next play, he challenged it again. He got it wrong. I was just like, the other teammates like, yo, don't use the ball challenges. Like, like what about the important part of the game when you really need to use the talent? Still like the second inning, you like, I'm challenging that. I don't like that call. Like,
but I mean,
crazy.
It shows a lot of an importance for the batter to be accountable as well.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
I thought Neil of him just challenging away. You're like, come on, man.
Like Neil, when I don't know if you noticed, I'm sure you did, when Siakam was still on the Raptors and they had the challenge implemented while he was still in Toronto. Every time Siakam had a foul, like he's telling the bench to review the play, and it was clear. Yeah, he did it all the time.
Everyone does this now.
Yep.
He does it all the time.
Love this.
And he reviewed, and when we're seeing it on the replay, it's a clear foul.
Yeah.
And Siakam was so notorious for that. But it does show that players do have to be accountable when they're at the plate, right? Because you could put the team in serious jeopardy if you're reckless with the challenge. I'm actually going through it.
Does the manager call the challenge though?
No, the player, and he has 3 seconds.
The batter calls it.
The batter.
The batter calls it.
Well, it's the batter, pitcher, or catcher.
Right.
So, and they have 3 seconds to do it. It doesn't give the team.
But the team only gets 2 challenges a game.
Yes, that's all.
Incorrect.
So some headstrong batter might just want to take up the challenge for himself.
This batter
not do it at the right time of the game.
Away. Oh, yes. That's what I said. Neil, the batter was tapping away. He's like, I don't like them. I don't like them either. Dude,
that has a whole other layer to it too, right?
No, and actually, I picked up the newest video game on PS5, and they had the challenge system. And,
nice.
And I gave up my challenges like within the first 3 batters because I got it wrong. And it's even as a gamer, which I'm far from, like it's really cool to keep an eye on that stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So now there's gonna be trouble big time.
So there's gonna be big games now potentially where the 9th inning is gonna come around and everyone's gonna know that was a ball, not a strike, but they have no challenges left, and everyone's gonna be cussing the guy who used up the stupid challenge in the 4th inning, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, why you use the challenge in the 4th inning?
Yeah, why you use it on 4th inning?
Nobody on base.
You struck out, man. Get out of here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Samcro, what's your thoughts on it?
So my thought first, I want to say this. Like I have a great parting gift for, well, at least not everybody but Randy. So for Swift, I'm going to send you that footage of that play from the Saints game for you to watch later tonight, so you can relive that moment of history there for yourself. And for Neil, I'm going to say I saved that there's a reel. It was Tom Brady playing golf with Josh Allen. Josh Allen presented him with specialized golf balls that have the Lombardi Trophy on it, and Brady said that's pretty impressive considering you've never seen one. But that being said, that's my one parting shot, just in all funness. I like it too. I think, again, it's the same thing with the challenging, like the challenge the calls. You're trying to improve the game. I mean, I do agree to Swift's point too. It's back in the day, and I go back, like I remember the days of Lou Piniella managing when the call's wrong and he's kicking dirt on the umpire. Like you miss those blow up moments. Like you want some passion behind it, or even Buck Showalter. I'm kind of name some other managers out there barking at the the calls and all this stuff. But Piniella was just the favorite because obviously he was always so flamboyant whenever he got upset. But and again to Randy's point too, like you said, clutch games like that, you do not want to miss a bad call. You don't want to lose a bad call. I forget even like just in the NFL case, what playoff game was it? They were talking about something like that where the penalty was missed and the game could have went a different way.
The Bills game, it wasn't a catch.
Right. So like something like that, you don't want to risk that, right? Because you want it to be accurate. So, when you have that, and I think any kind of system, there's still going to be errors. I mean, nothing's foolproof. Right. So even with that being said, I think it's just meant to enhance the game more. And again, we're in a digital age now, right? We're in a new era. So obviously it's the times that are changing. It's just not the 70s or 60s anymore. We're in a whole new generation of the sport. But I like it. And, I'm sure there's going to be some hiccups to work out. Everything that's new and that comes in always has some kinks that you have to kind of figure out. Like, they said, is it 2 challenges for the game? Like, are they going to change a few things? Will they adjust it? Trial and error, that kind of stuff. Will they get it wrong sometimes? Probably. Maybe it'll get right, but they'll figure it out. But anything that's going to improve the quality of the game and that gives you a chance to at least eliminate as much human error. I mean, I think you're going to still have some, but if you can get rid of the really blatant human errors, let's say, I think that's really huge. You're trying to statistically be better at making those calls and getting them just right. So anything for that, I'm definitely for, as long as, again, it enhances the game and it really just makes it more for the fans what they want to see and just ups the fun.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think fans want to see that like for most of the game, but when it's critical time, crunch time, especially, that's when people like me personally, and I'm sure most others, like, they just want it to be right. Doesn't matter how long you take. Yep. If that happened all game, obviously we'd get really annoyed, but it has to be in crunch time.
Just key moments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely happy about how the MLB is progressing. try and get more fans to watch the game and get more eyes on it. So pretty cool to see them implement that system. All right, guys. We brought to you by Bet Us. We got your game. Plus your best with Bet Us. We got MLB, college, basketball still going on. Well, hockey. So place your bet with Bet Us and win you some money. Neil and Randy, man, thank y'all for joining us. Where can they find y'all guys?
Yeah, at VOF Canada on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Threads. Neil and I, we've missed each other the past couple of weeks with just busy schedules, and that's essentially that. But hopefully, Neil, and I, we were thinking about getting together this week. Well, we'll see what happens this week. Hopefully next week. We have a lot to talk about with I guess the Final Four would have taken place. Baseball's
Duke, man.
Basketball playoffs coming up.
Absolutely. Lots to talk about. Great. The Masters as well, Neil.
No, the Masters.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. Neil and I are big golfers. So
really? I tried my hand at golfing. And didn't turn out well.
Yeah, Neil and I, we're going to go back onto the links really soon.
There you go. Man, that's great. All right. Oh, man, I feel like we probably need to do a show with y'all guys, like at least once a month or something. Try to fit in a matchup with Voice of the Fans of Canada and Voice of the Fans. You know, hopefully we can bring more of our guys from each of our shows on and have just one big show. But yeah, we definitely need to think about doing it at least like once a month or something.
Oh,
we all stay so busy with scheduling. Too bad we didn't get to talk about Tiger Woods. He need to have his own driver or something, man.
Yo, exactly. Well, one small tweak makes such a huge difference, eh?
Yeah.
Just change the game this much, man. This much, and you'll be fine.
In a nutshell.
Yeah, you could tell that he's going through something. You know, all joking aside, it's like
I know, man.
It's not good.
His eye was just like his eye was like straight.
Oh yeah, man. He looks so buzzed out. Oh my god.
Yep.
Just brutal. But yeah, get off the driving, man. Like
how many times?
I know you make way too much money. Like hire a cousin. I'm pretty sure you can find a cousin or a nephew. Absolutely. Like pay him a couple of dollars, drive you around or something.
I'm thinking 3, Neil. Like he was trying to drive away from his wife when she found out that he was messing around.
That was one.
He got into that accident where he almost died.
Yeah,
and now this one.
This 3.
Oh, and he also got arrested what is that? 7 years ago?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like
it wasn't an assault, was it?
No, he was caught with he was under the influence. Yeah, I think he was drinking.
Tiger just basically went from like the ultimate mega athlete to he became sort of like a tabloid superstar, and then had that 2019 Masters that sort of was like an incredible resurgence. But then he went right back to kind of
making headlines for the wrong reasons.
Tabloid guy.
Yeah.
When you have
the injuries
too much money,
are
you just have access to too much. When you have that kind of money, you just have access to like crazy.
You gotta be smart.
There's a great comedian actor. You guys may know him, Norm Macdonald. He passed away.
Yeah,
he's one of the greatest, in my opinion, of comedians of all time. But he had this amazing thing said about Tiger Woods, how Tiger, all these in the DUI, his wife, isn't that? Yeah. If you think about the amount of women that were throwing themselves at this guy on a daily basis, by calculation, by relatively, this is the most faithful man alive.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I'm sure he could get his fair share. I mean, he's not even that good looking a guy.
Money, Randy.
Well, it's the money. Come on, Randy. It's the money. You know what I mean?
All about the money.
He packs a powerful tea.
Yeah, I know.
That's powerful.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh my goodness. So man, it was a great show, guys. Man, I always have fun when we link up. Hopefully, man, other guys we can get them to link up too.
Yeah.
with their scheduling. But man, I can't wait to do this again. I appreciate y'all, all the hard work and support we get from my guys in Canada. And like I said, if y'all ever want us to come on the show, just give us a holler and
for sure
make something happen.
For sure.
I kind of want to do more
100%,
interviews too, man. I kind of want to try to set up more interviews with guests and like have us come on and just do shows with them.
No, I mean, and there's a lot of people that are eager to do it. You know, you'd be surprised how generous some people could be.
There you go.
You got that right. Maybe I can get Tiger Woods on and talk about his problems.
He's not doing much else right now. So yeah.
You know, right? Like, what's going on, Tiger? But all right, guys. All right, we'll be back hopefully next week, same time, same channel. We have Randy Couray, we have Neil, we have Samcro, and we'll see y'all next time.
Good night, all.
Out of here.
Peace.
Here, guys.